Let's dive into understanding cognitive behavioral therapy, often referred to as CBT. It's an effective form of therapy used widely today. The core idea behind CBT is that our thoughts influence how we feel and behave, so by changing negative thought patterns, we can improve emotional well-being. Now, imagine you're having a bad day at work. Maybe your boss criticized something you did, or there was a project delay. This could make you think negatively about yourself, perhaps believing you're not competent enough or that nothing ever goes right for you. These thoughts then affect how you feel and act later on. You might feel discouraged and skip social activities because you don't want to face people. CBT helps by identifying these negative thought patterns and replacing them with more positive or realistic ones. For example, instead of thinking, "I'm not good at my job," you could think, "I made a mistake, but I can learn from it." This shift in mindset can significantly improve your mood and behavior. The therapy is usually structured into sessions where the therapist helps you explore these thoughts and behaviors. Together, you'll identify specific situations that trigger negative thinking, then work on changing those thought patterns to be more constructive. One key technique used is called cognitive restructuring. It involves examining evidence for and against your beliefs, looking at alternative explanations for events, and questioning assumptions. For instance, if someone cuts you off in traffic, instead of automatically thinking they're rude or that it's personal, CBT might help you consider other possibilities like them being distracted. Another important aspect is behavioral experiments, where you test out these new thoughts and behaviors to see how accurate they are compared to your old ones. This practical application helps solidify the changes made during therapy sessions. CBT has been proven effective for a variety of issues, including anxiety, depression, post-traumatic stress disorder, and even physical health problems like chronic pain or insomnia. It's not just about feeling better, it's about learning skills you can use throughout your life to manage challenges more effectively. In conclusion, cognitive behavioral therapy is all about understanding how our thoughts shape our emotions and actions, then using that knowledge to improve overall well-being. Whether you're dealing with anxiety or depression, or simply looking to cope better with daily stressors, CBT offers practical tools for lasting change. Today, we're diving into why changing your thought patterns can make such a huge impact on your life. Imagine you've been stuck in a rut for years, feeling unmotivated or anxious about certain things. Well, it turns out that a lot of these feelings could be coming from the way you think about those situations. By shifting your mindset and looking at things differently, you can start to feel better about yourself and your life. Let's take an example. Say you've been working on a high-ticket client for months and finally land the deal. Instead of just thinking "I did it," which is great but only surface-level satisfaction, try reflecting on all the skills you used and how this success will help you grow professionally. That deeper appreciation can boost your confidence and motivate you even more. Another key aspect is identifying negative thought patterns. For instance, if you catch yourself constantly worrying about what others think of you or replaying past mistakes in your head, those are red flags for unhelpful thinking habits. Once you recognize them, you can work on replacing these thoughts with positive ones that support your goals and self-esteem. So how do we change thought patterns? It starts with awareness, noticing when a negative or limiting belief pops up. Then, challenge it by asking yourself if there's evidence to support this thought or if it's just a fear-based assumption. Finally, replace the old thought with something more positive and empowering. To make these changes stick, consistency is key. Just like building any habit, changing your mindset takes time and practice. So be patient with yourself and celebrate every small win along the way. In conclusion, altering how you think about challenges and successes can transform your entire outlook on life. By focusing on growth and positivity while challenging negative beliefs, you'll create a powerful shift in your mindset that opens doors to new opportunities and greater happiness. So next time you're facing a tough situation or celebrating an achievement, take a moment to reflect on how you're thinking about it. This simple practice can lead to big changes in how you feel and what you achieve. Today, we're diving into the world of negative thinking patterns, something that can affect us all without us even realizing it. Negative thoughts can sometimes feel like they take over our minds, clouding our judgment and bringing down our mood. But understanding these common types can help you identify them faster and deal with them more effectively. Let's start by talking about one of the most prevalent negative thinking patterns, black and white or all or nothing thinking. This is when we see things in extremes, like either perfect success or total failure. It doesn't leave room for gray areas and can really stress us out over minor details. Another common pattern is catastrophizing. This happens when you blow things way out of proportion, expecting the worst-case scenario to happen no matter what. For example, if you're running late for an important meeting and start imagining all sorts of terrible outcomes like everyone being angry at you or thinking you're unreliable. Next up is overgeneralization, where a single negative event is seen as a never-ending pattern of defeat. If something bad happens once, you might think it will keep happening over and over again without any chance for improvement. Then there's personalizing, which is when we take things personally that aren't actually about us. For example, if your friend doesn't text back right away, you might assume they're mad at you instead of just being busy or distracted by something else. Another pattern to watch out for is negative filtering. This happens when we focus only on the negatives and ignore all the positives happening around us. It's like wearing rose-tinted glasses, but with a dark filter. Finally, there's discounting the positive, where you minimize your achievements or positive experiences. You might think, oh, that wasn't really a big deal, even when something went well for you. Understanding these patterns can be really helpful in managing our thoughts and improving our mental health. It's all about becoming more aware of how we're thinking and working on shifting those thoughts to a healthier perspective. So next time you catch yourself falling into one of these negative thinking traps, take a step back and look at the bigger picture. Remember, it's okay to have negative thoughts sometimes, but recognizing them can make a big difference in how they affect your mood and outlook. That's all for today's lesson on common types of negative thinking patterns. I hope this helps you become more mindful about how you think and feel. Today, we're diving into something really important, recognizing your own negative thoughts. It's a bit of a mind-bender because it involves looking inward at our thoughts and identifying which ones might be harmful or unhelpful. Let's start by understanding why this is so crucial. Negative thoughts can cloud our judgment, affect our mood, and even influence how we see ourselves and the world around us. So the first step is to become aware of them. Imagine you're walking down a street and suddenly you notice someone staring at you. Your immediate thought might be, oh no, they must think I look strange. But really, could it just be that they're daydreaming or lost in thought? See how easy it is for our minds to jump straight to negative conclusions. To catch these thoughts as they happen, start by paying attention to your inner dialogue. Notice when you're feeling anxious, stressed, or down. That's usually a good indicator that a negative thought might be lurking nearby. Once you've spotted one, ask yourself, is this thought accurate, helpful, does it serve me well? For instance, if you find yourself thinking I always mess things up, challenge that by listing specific instances where you did succeed. It helps to have evidence on your side. Another technique is the stop method. S for stop, pause, and recognize what's happening in your mind. T for take a breath, take deep breaths to calm down. O for observe, look at your thoughts objectively, without judgment. P for proceed, go forward with awareness. Another useful tool is mindfulness meditation. It trains you to notice your thoughts as they pass by, rather than getting caught up in them. Over time, this can make it easier to spot those sneaky negative thoughts before they take hold. And don't forget about talking things through with a friend or therapist. Sometimes just verbalizing these thoughts can help you see them from another angle. In conclusion, recognizing your own negative thoughts is a powerful step towards better mental health and well-being. It's all about awareness and challenging those unhelpful beliefs. So keep practicing these techniques, and soon enough they'll become second nature. Today, we're diving into how to question the evidence for your negative thoughts. Let's imagine you're having a tough day at work, and you start thinking things like, "I'm such a failure," or "nobody likes me." These kinds of thoughts can really weigh you down. But here's the thing, these aren't necessarily true. They're just your mind playing tricks on you. So how do we deal with this? Well, one powerful technique is to question the evidence for those negative thoughts. Start by identifying a specific thought that's bothering you and write it down. For example, if you think "I'm such a failure," jot that down. Next, ask yourself, what evidence do I have for this belief? Look at your work history, successes, even small achievements today. Maybe you solved a problem or completed a task well. Now, consider the opposite. Is there any evidence against it? Chances are, if you're really honest with yourself, you'll find plenty of examples where you've done great things. This could be high-ticket projects you managed successfully, or even those times when colleagues praised your efforts. It's also important to look at whether these thoughts are based on facts or assumptions. Are they truly accurate? For instance, do people dislike you because they haven't said anything nice recently, or have you just assumed that without evidence? Asking yourself these questions can help shift your perspective from negative to more balanced and realistic. It's about challenging those automatic negative responses and replacing them with a clearer view of reality. Remember, questioning the evidence doesn't mean ignoring your feelings, but it does give you tools to manage them better. Over time, this practice will make it easier for you to recognize when a thought might not be entirely accurate and adjust accordingly. So next time those negative thoughts creep in, take a moment to question their basis in reality. You'll likely find that they're less convincing than you first thought. Let's dive into how we can better understand our beliefs by looking at them from different angles. First off, think about your favorite belief or opinion, something you hold dear to your heart. Now imagine sitting down with someone who sees things differently and having a friendly chat about why you believe what you do. Start by stating your belief clearly, then explain the reasons behind it. Use evidence or examples that support your view. Next, try to anticipate objections someone might raise and address them head-on. For instance, if you think eating organic food is healthier, consider arguments like cost or availability and respond thoughtfully. It's also helpful to explore alternative viewpoints. This doesn't mean changing your mind, but understanding why others see things differently. By doing so, you can refine your own beliefs and even strengthen your argument. Remember, it's not just about winning the debate, it's about learning and growing from the exchange. As you practice this approach, you'll find yourself better equipped to articulate your thoughts and defend your beliefs logically. This skill isn't just useful in formal debates, but also in everyday conversations where clear thinking can make all the difference. Today, we're diving into the world of positive thinking patterns, something that can transform your outlook on life dramatically. Imagine being able to shift from negative thoughts to positive ones effortlessly. It's not magic. It's about adopting certain strategies and making them part of your daily routine. Let's start with mindfulness, which is crucial in catching those negative thoughts early before they take over. By practicing mindfulness, you'll become more aware when a negative thought pops up and can quickly replace it with a positive one. Another powerful strategy is gratitude. Keeping a gratitude journal where you jot down 3 things each day that you're thankful for can boost your mood and shift your focus towards the good in your life. It could be something as simple as enjoying a warm cup of coffee or receiving praise from a colleague at work. By focusing on these small joys, you train your brain to seek out positive experiences. Visualizing success is another effective tool. Spend some time each day imagining yourself achieving your goals. Picture the emotions and sensations associated with that accomplishment. This visualization technique can motivate you and create a mental blueprint for success, making it easier to achieve those high-ticket goals. Lastly, surrounding yourself with positivity is key. Engage in activities that bring joy or laughter into your life, like spending time with friends who uplift you or listening to podcasts that inspire and motivate you. These interactions help cultivate a positive mindset and can influence how you react to challenges. Remember, the goal isn't to erase negative thoughts completely, but rather to balance them out with positive ones. With consistent practice of these strategies, you'll find yourself thinking more positively and living a happier life. Today, we're going to dive into something that's really fascinating: self-talk and its role in mental health. You know how sometimes you catch yourself thinking about things out loud or quietly inside your head? That's self-talk, and it can play a significant part in shaping our mood and overall well-being. Now, let's explore this concept further. Self-talk is essentially the inner dialogue that goes on inside your mind. It can be positive, negative, or neutral, but what's important is how we use it to influence our thoughts and feelings throughout the day. Imagine having a little coach in your head cheering you on or whispering doubts into your ear. That's pretty much what self-talk does for us. So why is this so crucial? Well, when you engage in positive self-talk, like telling yourself you've got this, before an important meeting, it can boost confidence and reduce anxiety. On the flip side, negative self-talk, such as constantly thinking I'm never going to get this right, can increase stress and lower your mood. The key is learning how to shift from negative self-talk to positive self-talk. It's not about suppressing all those critical thoughts, but rather recognizing them and then gently redirecting them towards something more constructive or realistic. For instance, if you're feeling overwhelmed, instead of saying I'm failing, try telling yourself this is tough, but I can handle it. Another aspect worth mentioning is how self-talk impacts our behavior. When we talk positively to ourselves about a task or situation, we're more likely to take action and engage with confidence. Conversely, negative self-talk can lead us to avoid challenges altogether. Now, let's think about how you can start practicing positive self-talk in your daily life. You might begin by noticing when you're engaging in negative self-talk and then gently replacing it with something encouraging or realistic. For example, if you catch yourself thinking I'm so bad at this, try changing it to this is challenging, but I've made progress. Remember, the goal isn't perfection. It's about gradually shifting your mindset towards a more positive outlook. With practice and patience, self-talk can become a powerful tool for improving mental health and overall well-being. So next time you find yourself engaging in self-talk, take a moment to notice what you're saying to yourself and see if there's an opportunity to turn those words into something more uplifting and supportive. Today, we're going to dive into an empowering technique that can help shift our mindset from negative thoughts to positive ones. It's all about recognizing those pesky negative voices in your head and gently replacing them with more uplifting alternatives. So let's start by understanding why this is important. When you dwell on negative thoughts, it affects your mood, outlook, and even your behavior. But here's the good news. We can train our brains to focus on positives instead. It might sound a bit challenging at first, but once you get the hang of it, it becomes second nature. Let's break down the process step by step. First, notice those negative thoughts when they pop up. For example, if someone tells you that you did something wrong and your immediate response is I'm so bad at this, take a deep breath and acknowledge that thought. Then comes the crucial part, challenging it. Ask yourself questions like, is this really true? What evidence do I have to support or refute this? By questioning these thoughts, you're loosening their grip on your mind. Now let's replace those negative thoughts with positive alternatives. For instance, instead of thinking I'm so bad at this, try shifting it to something like, I made a mistake, but that's an opportunity for me to learn and grow. This helps reframe the situation into one where you see challenges as stepping stones rather than roadblocks. Another technique is to use affirmations. Pick positive statements that resonate with you and repeat them daily. For example, I am capable, I embrace my strengths, or even something playful like I'm awesome at problem solving. The more you practice these affirmations, the more they'll stick in your mind. Remember, It's all about consistency and patience. It might take some time to fully internalize this new way of thinking, but with regular practice, those negative thoughts will gradually become less frequent and impactful. And as a bonus, you'll find yourself feeling happier and more optimistic overall. So next time you catch yourself in a negative thought spiral, give these techniques a try and see how much better you feel. That's it for today's lesson on replacing negative thoughts with positive ones. I hope this helps you navigate your mindset shifts and fosters a healthier outlook on life. Today, we're diving into cognitive restructuring techniques, which can help us transform negative thoughts into positive ones. Let's imagine you're faced with a challenging situation at work. Instead of telling yourself, "I'm going to fail," try changing it to, "I might struggle, but I'll learn and grow from this experience." That's the essence of cognitive restructuring, shifting our mindset towards something more constructive. Now, let's break down the steps. First, identify the negative thought or belief you're focusing on. For instance, if someone criticizes your work, you might think, "I'm not good enough." Next, challenge that thought by asking yourself questions like, "Is this always true? Are there times when I've done well?" Then replace it with a more balanced and encouraging statement such as, "I can improve based on feedback." Another technique is to reframe the situation. Let's say you're dealing with a high-pressure project deadline. Instead of seeing it as overwhelming, view it as an opportunity to showcase your skills and learn new ones. This reframing helps shift perspective from negative to positive. Also, consider using evidence-based thinking. When faced with uncertainty or doubt, list out the facts supporting your capability versus those challenging it. For example, if you're hesitant about public speaking, remember times you've succeeded rather than focusing on potential failure. Lastly, practice mindfulness and acceptance. Recognize that thoughts are just mental events passing through your mind and don't necessarily reflect reality. Accepting these fleeting thoughts without judgment can reduce their impact. By incorporating these techniques into your daily routine, you'll gradually restructure negative thinking patterns and develop a more positive outlook on life's challenges. Let's dive into how cognitive behavioral therapy can help us manage anxiety better. Imagine your mind as a garden, where certain thoughts are seeds that grow into anxious feelings. CBT helps us identify these seeds early on and learn to nurture healthier thoughts instead. First off, let's talk about identifying negative thought patterns. These could be things like overgeneralizing or catastrophizing, always seeing the worst in situations. When you notice yourself doing this, pause and ask, "Is my thinking accurate? Are there other possible outcomes?" Next up is challenging those thoughts. It's not enough to just spot them, we need to question their validity. Ask yourself, what evidence do I have for these negative beliefs? Can I think of times when similar situations turned out okay or even positive? Then comes replacing those thoughts with more balanced ones. For example, if you're worried about a big presentation, instead of thinking, "I'm going to mess up," try something like, "I've prepared well and can do this." This shift helps reduce anxiety by changing how we perceive the situation. Another key CBT technique is exposure therapy. Gradually facing feared situations in a controlled way teaches us that these anxieties aren't as overwhelming as we think. Start small and build up to bigger challenges, always staying within your comfort zone initially. Lastly, practice mindfulness techniques like deep breathing or meditation. These help calm the mind and make it easier to focus on positive thoughts during anxious moments. By applying CBT strategies regularly, you can significantly reduce anxiety symptoms and improve overall mental well-being. Let's dive into using cognitive behavioral therapy for managing depression. We'll talk about how CBT works and why it's such an effective tool in dealing with those tough depressive feelings. First off, what is CBT? It stands for Cognitive Behavioral Therapy. This approach focuses on identifying negative thought patterns and changing them to more positive ones. So basically, we're talking about rewiring our brains to see things from a healthier perspective. The idea here is that when we change how we think, it can affect how we feel. Now, let's break down the process of CBT. It usually starts with identifying those negative thoughts, what experts call cognitive distortions. These might be things like all-or-nothing thinking, where you see situations as either perfect or a total failure. Or maybe it's overgeneralization, where one bad thing makes you think everything is bad. Once we've identified these patterns, the next step is to challenge them. We do this by asking ourselves questions about our thoughts. Are they really accurate? Are there other ways to look at things? This helps us see that some of those negative beliefs might not be entirely true or helpful. After challenging those thoughts, we replace them with healthier alternatives. For example, if you're feeling like everything is going wrong, you could reframe it as some things are tough right now, but I can handle them. The beauty of CBT for depression management is that it's practical and action-oriented. It gives us tools to work on our thoughts every day. You might start a journal where you write down those negative thoughts and challenge them, or talk through your feelings with a therapist. CBT also encourages behavioral changes. This could be about engaging in activities even when we don't feel like it, which can boost mood over time. It's all about taking small steps towards doing things that are good for us despite how we might be feeling. So why is CBT so effective? Well, studies have shown it to be as effective as medication in treating depression, and it helps prevent relapses too. Plus, once you've learned these skills, you can use them throughout your life whenever you need to manage depressive feelings. In conclusion, using CBT for managing depression involves identifying negative thought patterns, challenging them with evidence-based questioning, replacing them with positive thoughts, and engaging in behaviors that promote wellness. It's a powerful tool because it gives us concrete strategies to take control of our mental health and improve our mood on an ongoing basis. That wraps up this overview of CBT for managing depression. Remember, if you're dealing with depressive symptoms, talk to your healthcare provider about how CBT might help you in your journey towards better mental well-being. Today, we're diving into some mindfulness practices that can help reduce stress in our daily lives. Mindfulness is all about bringing your attention to the present moment without judgment. It's like stepping out of the whirlwind of thoughts and emotions and just being aware of what's happening right now. Let's start by focusing on breathing because it's such a powerful tool. Take a deep breath in through your nose, hold for a second or two, then exhale slowly through your mouth. Feel how this simple act can instantly calm you down. Now, let's try another technique called body scan. Lie down comfortably and close your eyes. Start at the top of your head and move downwards to your toes, noticing any sensations in each part of your body. If you find tension anywhere, gently breathe into that area. Another practice is mindful meditation. Sit quietly for a few minutes every day, focusing solely on your breath or a particular word or phrase. When your mind wanders, just bring it back to the present moment without getting frustrated. It's normal. The goal isn't to clear your mind, but to train yourself to refocus gently. We can also incorporate mindfulness into our daily activities like eating or walking. Eat slowly and savor every bite, paying attention to the textures, flavors, and smells. When you walk, notice how your feet feel as they connect with the ground, the rhythm of your steps, and what's around you visually. These little moments of awareness can make a big difference. Lastly, try journaling about your thoughts and feelings each day. Writing things down helps process emotions and reflect on experiences mindfully. It doesn't have to be long. Even a few sentences can do wonders. Remember, these practices take time to become effective, so be patient with yourself as you learn them. Start small and gradually increase the duration of your mindfulness sessions. With regular practice, you'll find stress levels dropping and overall well-being improving significantly. Today, we're diving into relaxation techniques that complement cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT for short. You might already be familiar with some basic strategies like deep breathing or progressive muscle relaxation, but there are so many more options out there to help you manage stress and anxiety. Let's start by talking about mindfulness meditation. It's all about being present in the moment, observing your thoughts without judgment. This helps break the cycle of worry and brings a sense of calm. Next up is visualization. Imagine yourself in a peaceful place, maybe a beach or a tranquil forest. Picture every detail: the sound of waves lapping against rocks, leaves rustling gently in the breeze, sunlight filtering through tree branches. Visualization can be incredibly soothing because it engages your senses and distracts from negative thoughts. Another technique worth mentioning is yoga. It combines physical postures with breathing exercises and meditation to promote relaxation. Yoga helps release tension from muscles that are often clenched due to stress and anxiety. Plus, the rhythmic breathing used in yoga aligns perfectly with CBT principles of managing emotions through breath control. Guided imagery is another powerful tool. This involves listening to a recorded script or following verbal prompts from someone else. You could imagine yourself achieving goals, overcoming challenges, or simply enjoying peaceful moments. It's like having an audio storyteller lead you into a relaxed state. Lastly, let's talk about self-hypnosis. While it sounds a bit more advanced, it can be as simple as repeating positive affirmations to yourself while in a deeply relaxed state. This helps reprogram your mind and reinforce positive thoughts that align with CBT goals. Each of these techniques works by focusing the mind on something other than anxious thoughts or stressful situations. They help you develop skills for managing stress and anxiety effectively, complementing what you're learning through cognitive behavioral therapy. Today, we're diving into an incredibly important topic: cultivating a resilient outlook. Now, why is this so crucial? Well, because life can be unpredictable, and having that resilient mindset helps us navigate through tough times smoothly. So let's start by understanding what resilience means in the first place. Resilience isn't about never falling down, it's about getting back up each time you fall. Think of resilience as a muscle. The more you work on it, the stronger it becomes. Just like any other skill, resilience can be developed and improved over time. Now, how do we build this resilience? Let's break it down into some manageable steps. First off, accepting that setbacks are part of life is key. No one escapes challenges entirely, so knowing they're inevitable helps us handle them better when they come knocking. Next up is maintaining a positive outlook despite the obstacles you face. This doesn't mean ignoring problems, but rather seeing opportunities for growth in every challenge. Another important aspect is learning to adapt. Flexibility and creativity are crucial when dealing with unexpected situations. By being open to change, we can find new ways to solve old problems. Plus, surrounding yourself with supportive people who uplift and encourage you during tough times strengthens your resilience even more. Now, let's talk about self-care. Taking care of your physical, emotional, and mental health is essential for building a resilient outlook. Regular exercise, proper nutrition, enough sleep, and engaging in activities that bring joy are all vital components here. Lastly, reflecting on past experiences can provide valuable insights into how you've handled tough situations before. By acknowledging your strengths and learning from any mistakes made along the way, you build confidence and resilience for future challenges. So there you have it. Cultivating a resilient outlook involves accepting setbacks, maintaining positivity, being adaptable, seeking support, practicing self-care, and reflecting on past experiences. Each of these steps plays an important role in strengthening your resilience muscle over time. Remember, building resilience is not a one-time thing, but a continuous journey that requires ongoing effort and attention. By incorporating these strategies into your daily life, you'll be better equipped to face whatever challenges come your way with grace and determination. Today, we're diving into how you can apply resilience principles in your daily life. Imagine resilience as that invisible shield protecting you against life's challenges. It's about bouncing back from setbacks, adapting to change, and maintaining stability under pressure. Let's start by looking at the key elements of resilience: self-awareness, emotional intelligence, positive thinking, adaptability, social support, and a growth mindset. First up is self-awareness. This means knowing your strengths and weaknesses, recognizing how you react in different situations, and understanding your emotions. When you have this awareness, you can better manage stress and respond effectively to challenges. For example, if you know you tend to get anxious before big presentations, you can plan ahead with relaxation techniques or visualization exercises. Next comes emotional intelligence. This involves acknowledging your feelings and those of others, empathy, and managing emotions constructively. It's about expressing yourself openly while also listening attentively to others. Developing emotional intelligence helps build strong relationships, which is crucial for resilience. So, next time you're feeling down, reach out to a friend or family member. Talking it through can make all the difference. Positive thinking plays a pivotal role too. It doesn't mean ignoring problems, but rather focusing on solutions and staying hopeful despite setbacks. A simple way to practice this is by keeping a gratitude journal where you jot down things you're thankful for each day. This shifts your mindset towards positivity and helps maintain an optimistic outlook even in tough times. Adaptability is another key principle of resilience. It's about being flexible, embracing change, and learning from experiences. So when faced with unexpected challenges, view them as opportunities to learn and grow rather than obstacles to overcome. For instance, if plans for a weekend outing get canceled due to bad weather, see it as an opportunity to try something new or spend quality time at home. Social support is essential too. Build a network of supportive people who can offer encouragement and assistance when needed. This might be family, friends, colleagues, mentors, or even professional therapists. Remember, resilience isn't about going through tough times alone. It's about having the strength to face them with others by your side. Lastly, adopting a growth mindset is crucial for resilience. It's believing that abilities and intelligence can be developed over time through effort and perseverance. This mindset helps you see challenges as learning opportunities rather than insurmountable obstacles. So next time you're faced with a difficult task, remind yourself that it's an opportunity to grow and improve. By incorporating these principles into your daily life, you'll find yourself better equipped to handle whatever comes your way. Remember, resilience is not about being invincible. It's about learning how to navigate through tough times with grace and determination. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey to change your thinking with cognitive behavioral therapy techniques. Over the weeks, we've covered a lot of ground, from understanding what CBT is all about and its importance in altering thought patterns, to identifying those negative thoughts that hold us back. We learned how to challenge these beliefs by questioning their evidence and debating their logic. Then came strategies for developing positive thinking patterns and recognizing the role of self-talk in our mental health. We practiced cognitive restructuring techniques to replace those negatives with positives, and we explored applying CBT specifically to manage anxiety and depression, as well as mindfulness practices and relaxation techniques that help reduce stress. Finally, we looked at building resilience through these skills and how to apply them daily. The most important takeaways are recognizing your negative thought patterns, challenging their validity, and replacing them with positive alternatives. Remember, changing thoughts is a skill that takes practice, but can lead to significant improvements in mental well-being. I encourage you now to start applying what you've learned in your everyday life. Notice those automatic negative thoughts when they arise and use the techniques we went over to reframe them. Over time, these new thinking patterns will become more natural. As you move forward, I wish you all the success you deserve as you continue on this path of personal growth and improved mental health. If you'd like to connect with me or leave feedback about the course, feel free to reach out through the platform.